Coming up in South Africa, Tzu Chi volunteers travel to Bapsfontein to hold a winter relief distribution for those in need. We find out how Tzu Chi is helping residents in Xindan, Taiwan gain access to clean drinking water. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Mary Lee. Thank you for joining us. At the end of July, Tzu Chi volunteers from Johannesburg, South Africa, traveled to Masakane Township in Bapsfontein, an area located 40 minutes outside of Johannesburg, to carry out a winter relief distribution for the first time. As the water tower is broken, residents wait in line with their buckets for the arrival of the water truck, which delivers water to the area once a week. Situated 40 minutes northeast of Johannesburg, here in Masakane Township, Bapsfontein, some 200 families struggling to make ends meet are on the brink of starvation. Today, Tzu Chi volunteers have come to help. At the request of the local government, Tzu Chi volunteers from Johannesburg carried out their first ever distribution in this community. Rice, blankets, shoes and aid are already offloaded and volunteers are already standing by. However, residents have yet to show.
So we always go on time, all right? So I want you people to know.
Although unfamiliar with Tzu Chi, volunteers come up with ways to break the ice. Receiving blankets, daily necessities and 2 10-kilo bags of rice from Tzu Chi, residents walk away with hearts filled with gratitude and warmth that will carry them through the winter.
Good luck, eh? Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, kids.
Bye-bye.
In Jordan, Ahmad Jumami, a Syrian refugee, was hospitalized after a bullet shattered his pelvis. Doctors said he required an artificial pelvis to be able to walk again. However, without funding, they were unable to go through with the operation. Fortunately for Jumami, Tzu Chi volunteers decided to subsidize the procedure.
The day after Ramadan is a national holiday here in Jordan. However, nothing has changed for these injured Syrian refugees as they battle for their life. Hospitalized from a bullet to the stomach that shattered his pelvis, Ahmad has been waiting 8 months for surgery. The dream of one day seeing his 3 children again keeps Ahmad strong. Tzu Chi volunteers have also been by his side with hope. After talking with doctors, the Tzu Chi volunteers decided to subsidize Ahmad's surgery. On the day of the surgery, Ahmad is a mixture of hope and dread.
He wants to wipe his face. He told him there is something more important than your face.
After the successful surgery, the volunteers bring Ahmad a bamboo bank in hopes he can begin to give back to help others like him. While another young volunteer brings a gift symbolizing peace and happiness, in hopes that Ahmad will be reunited with his family very soon.
Recently, a group of Tzu Chi volunteers passed through Lumbini, Nepal, the birthplace of the Buddha, as part of a free clinic tour. While in Lumbini, the volunteers vowed to continue to bring the waters of the Dharma back to Nepal, a country where Buddhism has been forgotten in many areas. Being here in Lumbini, the birthplace of the Buddha, is an indescribable feeling. Lumbini sits on the border of Nepal and India, and every year, thousands of faithful come here on pilgrimage.
The tree was huge and its shade inviting. The queen went to the tree, and as the gentle breeze came, she suddenly found herself in labor. A group of Tzu Chi volunteers are here today to visit the birthplace of the Buddha and see where it all began. After 2,000 years, the Buddha and his teachings still have such an important place in this world. It's really amazing when you think about it. For those of us wanting to study the Buddha's teaching, we need to make good use of our time and help others whenever possible.
Tzu
Although the area around Lumbini is full of Buddhist temples built with the donation of dozens of countries, in fact, most of the population around Lumbini is unfamiliar with Buddhism.
This is known as the birthland of the Buddha. Millions of visitors from around the world, they look to this place as the very source where the Dharma is sprouted from. But it is sad irony that the people who live around here, we know very little about it.
In fact, most of Nepal's population is Hindu. Following the earthquake, Tzu Chi has brought a manifestation of the Mahayana great love back to Nepal.
Master Xindan brought the Dharma to China, and through Master Yin Sun and other teachers in China, the Dharma came to Taiwan, where it grew and prospered. Now we are bringing a manifestation of that Dharma back to its birthplace. So the Dharma was transmitted to the East and has come back to the West in a full circle.
In studying and living the Buddha Dharma, Tzu Chi volunteers are here in Nepal to give back to their spiritual birthplace and complete the circle of love. 73-year-old Feng Shishou lost his wife to cancer when he was 38 years old and was left to raise his 3 children on his own. In 1999, Feng met Tzu Chi and decided to join the volunteers' ranks. Now that his children have grown up, he is able to dedicate his days to Tzu Chi. Here in Miaoli's Choufen, Feng Shishou single-handedly raised 3 children on his own while working as a carpenter. When he was 38, Feng lost his wife to ovarian cancer. Back then, his youngest child was only 4.
Thinking about those days really brings tears to my eyes. The children were still very young, but they needed to grow up so quickly as their mother was gone. During the workday, I would come back home to cook lunch for them before leaving for work once more. If the neighbors were not around to take care of the youngest one, then I would bring her with me to work. If she was throwing a tantrum, I would also take her with me.
Feng Shishou worked hard to provide for his family.
I feel that my father has given us everything we needed. To this day, he is still a very important part of my life. I am very grateful he is my father.
Although Feng's youngest daughter works in Taipei, every opportunity she gets, she returns home to spend time with him.
爸爸都不挑哎，什么你煮什么他都会吃。爸吃饭嘞，好马上走了，先休息一下。
谁煮的最好吃？
小女儿，会给感恩她，没有，像妈妈不在了，她等于是可以说另外代替妈妈的位置。
Feng says, to this day, his youngest continues to hold his hand while walking. Now that his children can take care of themselves, Feng is no longer worried about them.
This place has been a recycling point for over 10 years now. All the residents around here know that Tzu Chi comes to collect recyclables here.
In 1999, Feng joined Tzu Chi and began recycling. Now with his days filled with purpose, his health has also seen a turn for the better.
He is not idly living his days away. Time passes quickly and he is filled with purpose.
I can take care of myself and my health is good. That's all I ask for. I feel my life is full of purpose.
There used to be 320,000 newborns in Taiwan a year, but that number has dropped steadily since 2002 and is expected to plateau at around 180,000. Unfortunately, this means fewer schools are needed as local governments battle budget deficits by closing down small-sized elementary schools in remote areas. We see how such steps affect students.
Small-sized elementary schools in Taiwan are disappearing, and students attending these schools are the first to be affected. Hongzhi, who was a 3rd grader at Nantou's Guangying Elementary, will now be transferred to Zhongliao Elementary.
He is forced to transfer to Zhongliao Elementary, which is further away at least by several kilometers.
When the summer vacation ends, Hongzhi will begin 4th grade in a new school.
开心啊！
为什么？
因为可以跟以前的朋友啊。
很远哎，以后怎么去上课？
有那个书记传送。
司机是谁？
妈妈。
From now on, Hongzhi will no longer have to study alone as he will have many more classmates. But this also means peer competition. Besides his summer homework, Hongzhi also has to attend a cram school so he can catch up.
The curriculums are harder over there. And also they teach you more stuff, so I won't have as much free time as I did here.
At Zhongliao Elementary, as there are more students there, he will need to learn to better take care of himself, as his teachers may not be able to give him personal attention.
Every kid surely wants to have more classmates so that they can learn together, but this means more commuting for parents. And for those that are already financially troubled or at a social disadvantage, this could be the end of their education, as these students may not have the means to travel to their new school. Guangying Elementary, which cost $1.6 million to build, still stands tall in Nantou's mountains. Despite the effort made by the faculty and community, the school is getting shut down.
It's a waste if we just close the school down. We should see if we can put the campus to another use. Otherwise, it's wasteful. Besides being wasteful, what if the school becomes the gathering point of hooligans or criminals?
When a school is shut down, it might lead to the demise of the surrounding community.
Low birth rates mean we have 5,000 fewer students every year. We have to face the fact that school mergers will only become more frequent.
Due to low birth rates, the number of children is declining. 2016 will probably set a record low. The number has been falling steadily.
In the foreseeable future, more small elementary schools will be forced to close down. The principal of Guangying Elementary, who is not yet 60 years old, is retiring with his school.
Due to the number of our staff, the school's basic expense is some $354,000 a year. Let me just put it bluntly, this helps the county save money.
School mergers is the consensus of everyone. Every county and city is battling debt right now. We can only try to minimize our debt to lessen the effect on future generations.
Due to the harsh financial reality, school closures and mergers will only hasten.
Next year, we estimate about 200 elementary school teachers will retire. If a school has 10 teachers, then that means 20 schools have to close down. But right now, our goal is set at 10 schools.
As local governments cut back on education, the central government can only watch from the sidelines.
Whether it is according to the Local Government Act or the compulsory education law, whether or not a school gets shut down is up to the local government.
These schools in remote areas were established so that children living there could also get an education. However, as budget deficits have forced governments to close these schools, the question remains, now what happens to the children?
Immediately following Typhoon Salvador, Tzu Chi volunteers across Taiwan wasted no time in responding to the disaster by providing physical and emotional support to the residents affected by the typhoon. First, we take a look at cleanup efforts in both Taoyuan and New Taipei City.
In the wake of Typhoon Salvador, mud can be seen in the classrooms, on the sports field and playground at Guishan Elementary School, or emanating the foul smell of debris.
When Typhoon Salvador hit, the school was flooded. These computers and instruments were taken out of the classroom this morning. If we take a look at the watermark in the classroom, we can see the floodwaters were more than 2 meters high.
The school let Tzu Chi volunteers use the classroom as its disaster relief coordination center. However, with 22 faculty members, the school lacks the manpower to clean up. Therefore, Tzu Chi volunteers reached out with a helping hand to clean up the school.
We need people to help clean up the classrooms. After we move things out, the classrooms are now empty.
Besides cleaning up Guishan Elementary School, some 1,200 Tzu Chi volunteers were mobilized to clean up areas in Guangxing and Guishan boroughs. Walking into Miss Chen's house, one can see damaged furniture and debris everywhere.
We might sanitize the house later as it stinks now. I'm grateful to the Tzu Chi volunteers. I would not be able to deal with this if it wasn't for their help.
These middle-aged Tzu Chi volunteers work hard to help clean up and were not afraid of the filth.
We came to clean up 2 days ago and we mobilized quite a lot of volunteers today. Since it is a holiday, many Tzu Chi brothers came.
Although it will take some time before the affected families can return their lives to normal, Tzu Chi volunteers have again reached out a helping hand in times of need. Turning to Guishan Borough of Xindan district, downed trees and debris are seen everywhere. Blue and white clad angels have mobilized to clean up areas near Xinwu Road.
I don't have to work today, so I thought I should come here. It feels great to sweat, so we simply seize the opportunity to serve.
Without my help, there might not be a big difference, but with my help, the affected families might return to a normal life a minute sooner.
With mud everywhere, a lot of the furniture is no longer usable. Volunteers did their best to help clean up, and some of them came despite being ill.
Seeing how this area has been affected, we should do our best to help clean up, so they can return their lives to normal. Finally, I can join people in bringing relief aid, rather than watching people do it on TV.
We will see how many houses need to be cleaned and how many we actually clean today before making future plans.
The volunteers also gather a list of people affected by the typhoon while cleaning up.
By helping us, Tzu Chi volunteers are minimizing the impact of the disaster. Thank you very much.
In Chenggong Park of Zhongli District, fierce wind and heavy rain from Typhoon Sodalor uprooted the banyan trees. To clean up, excavator had to be used. Then the cleanup crew had to cut the branches with an electric saw. With the army mobilized to clean up, Tzu Chi volunteers also joined their effort.
We clean up the surroundings so when people come to our Tzu Chi event, they will feel more comfortable.
The soldiers are quickly soaked in sweat due to the heat outside, with volunteers offering watermelons to help them cool down.
It helped cool us down and energized us to continue with the work.
After the cleanup, Tzu Chi volunteers held a Lunar July blessing ceremony in the evening, attracting more than 280 residents. Through offering vegetarian food, hosting group activities, and presenting a play, the volunteers introduced the true meaning behind the 7th lunar month, a month for Thanksgiving, filial piety, and joy.
As rescue efforts continue in Xindan, currently residents there are without access to tap water. To help, Tzu Chi has dispatched its Q water truck, which can produce 15 tons of drinking water a day. A water pump is drawing water from a mountain spring by Xindan's Shanggui Shanqiao. However, this water must be processed before it is drinkable. As the source water is still murky, it must be sent through this water purification truck. After 5 different kinds of filtration, the water is then drinkable. This Q water truck is the result of the combined efforts of the Water Resources Agency, Industrial Technology Research Institute, and Tzu Chi, and can produce up to 10 liters of clean water per minute.
Its maximum capacity is 15 tons of water a day. If a person drinks 2.5 liters of water a day, then you can provide for 6,000 people.
Many residents have come to pick up a 10-liter bag of water as the area is temporarily without tap water.
This shows the filtered water's conductivity is less than 10, which means there are very little heavy metals in it.
Chen Jianhong was one of the people who made Q Water Truck possible. After witnessing how survivors were left without water after Typhoon Morakot, he spent 4 years to come up with the system.
It can process heavily polluted water and even desalinized seawater. It comes equipped with solar power. The second truck that we're working on will offer remote monitoring.
To help Xindan, which was hard hit by Typhoon Saudalor, Tzu Chi has also dispatched 8 loaders, 14 recycling trucks, and 40 handcarts to assist with the cleanup efforts, so residents may resume their lives as soon as possible.
Next, let's take a look at how volunteers have reached out to residents of Yilan County and Sanshan, New Taipei City in the aftermath of what was considered one of the most intense tropical cyclones of 2015.
Tragedy struck this community over the past weekend as a father-son pair was swept away and killed by powerful flash floods triggered by Typhoon Saudalor. Tzu Chi volunteers promised the family they will do all that they can to help.
Keep your chin up, okay?
Residents of this community say they have never seen such devastation as that caused by this most recent typhoon. As the typhoon weakened later Saturday, Tzu Chi volunteers mobilized to check on residents and returned again with consolation cash the following day. Tzu Chi volunteers came to make sure Mr. Ong, who injured his foot during the typhoon, received a tetanus shot for his injuries. Volunteers also brought gifts and consolation cash for Mr. Ong, which he in turn donated to Tzu Chi. Mr. Gao, who runs a hardware store, also donated his consolation cash.
I will accept this gift, but we don't need the money. Thank you for your kindness.
As Mr. Gao's daughter is a student of Tzu Chi Senior High, he has often heard of all the good work Tzu Chi has done. Hence, he decided to donate his consolation cash and expressed his gratitude to be able to help others during this time of need.
Sometimes adversity can also be a blessing in disguise. I was on my way to work when the storm hit. Fortunately, my car was able to start, and it wasn't submerged in water.
This typhoon was also a wake-up call from Mother Nature.
Tragedy gives all of us a chance to act better and be better. We should treasure all our resources and nothing should be wasted. We shouldn't purchase items just to dispose of them eventually.
Acres of farmland have been destroyed and roads are covered in mud and debris. Flash floods also caused severe damage to this home. Since August 9th, volunteers have split into teams delivering consolation cash and daily necessities to each household. In addition, they also prepared 200 lunch boxes so that residents in the hard-hit areas have the strength to clean their homes and get their lives back on track.
Students at Taiwan Tzu Chi schools went grocery shopping as part of their study abroad experience in the United States. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.